So hey guys, today on the bench I want to take a look at this FlexVolt 20 volt 60 volt DeWalt battery pack. So this is going to be a 6 amp hour at 20 volts or 2 amp hour at 60 volts. The way this is configured, we're getting no lights, and this belongs to a friend of mine at work, and I have never worked on a 60 volt. I have done a video on the 20 volt max DeWalt battery, but I have not been into a 60 volt yet. So let's get into it. This is going to be a T10 security screw, and it looks like we have side panels. Probably going to go ahead and take all 8 of them. Ooh, we definitely have some water damage. No doubt about that. Still some minor compared to the other side. So even though our side panels come off and this almost looks like a solid piece, we can see some separation here. So this must split up pretty easy. Easier than I thought it would be. And there we go. There's our top part, and our spring is staying right now. We'll leave it. And that is a fully potted board. Interesting. So one thing that was confusing me about the 20 volt, 60 volt, I hadn't looked at any of this in the past because I don't have any myself. I definitely knew they had to do the cell separation, whether it be the 3P making 20 volt, or maybe in this case being to give a 60 as a 1P and actually be a 15S or 15 in series at 4 volts, give us 60 volts. And I'm assuming, 6 amp hours. So I guess 2000 milliamp hours each cell. So at 1P, that'll be a 2 amp hour at 60 volts. Or it's got a configuration where it will use the 3P. So it will just be 20 volts with three layers of that 20 volts, or 3 in parallel in each group of 5 to give us simply 20 volts, but 6 amp hours. So same watt hour either way. But some tools definitely perform better with a higher voltage. Gives that motor a little more torque. For drills and such, it really don't matter a whole lot, as long as you got plenty amp hours, plenty available current, should I say. But yeah, we definitely don't look good here with corrosion, but I'm more interested right now. This is not configured the way I thought it would be, because I knew how DeWalt pack works as far as the way the cells come up and the way your main power comes up. But I expected it to be more than just 2 leads coming up here. So this is almost like a little manual contactor. I didn't pay that attention. Okay, so that's not just a molded groove like this one. If you can see that, that truly moves back. When this is in a 60 volt tool, apparently I do not have one, sorry. Trying to figure this out as we go, but that goes back and makes contact to give us, let's see here, our output, 11 volts. As I mentioned, I never worked on one of these to say, but if you're having trouble with a pack, it could even be to contact, I'm assuming one way or the other here, to these points. So one thing I found interesting about this battery pack, after just looking over it for a few minutes and trying to figure it out, typically a battery pack, for example, this just 1P pack here. Of course, we have our 5 cells in here, as we've seen in many pack videos before. We just have our layer, which is 1P. It's just one link of 5 cells at 4 volts gives us our 20 volts. And usually you have your layers, so at 2000 milliamp hours we would have 3 layers, and we do, but it's not in layers as we typically think. They have thought outside the box with a 60 volt, and your clusters of 20 volts are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the reason they separated these out, as you can see, they've already brought these up. So your high current connections are here. So hopefully you can see my meter here. We get 13.84, 13.83, and 13.83. And the reason that is significant is because with this not pushed in, the 3 sets are in parallel. So they are going to read the same thing regardless. So the one set is going to pull the others down. With this being in the release state, I'm assuming it makes contact where it puts these together and these together, where when you push it in, it separates them or puts them in a series, should I say. So I'm trying to find something that might go in here. Okay, that resistor works okay. So if we keep that pushed in like it will be in a 60 volt tool, they might stabilize and stay similar, but yeah, well, that one's dropped off just a tad. But now we can actually look at these individually instead of being in 3 sets in parallel. So now I'm going to continue like this, going around. And the cool thing about this pack, even though I'm not crazy about the 60 volt, as far as the extra complexity it adds, as far as being reliable, I do like the fact that you can actually separate this out into just individually just 5S inline packs. You can definitely tell which cell is bad if there is one. And I'm definitely going to clean this corrosion up as well and make sure it's not causing an issue. It definitely was on its way to doing so, if not already causing an issue. I mean, they seal their board up very well, and it is actually a soft silicone. So if you ever watched my Ego 56 volt BMS repair videos, you'll know that I have been successful pulling that potting off and actually repairing a BMS board. So I think we could do it. It'd just be a little bit of work, but we could do it if we had to. Hopefully we won't have to get into that on this one, but just a note. I do want to just go through now, probably do it off camera to save camera time, but I'll go through and see how the cells are looking, and we'll be right back. So one thing separating these into 3 different parts helps us do really easy is see why we're having trouble. And one of the reasons this pack is pulling low is we have one cell where there's that corrosion, or did it leak out and cause that corrosion, which is possible. We're not opened up, of course. Across that cell we do show continuity, but we don't show any voltage. So this cell unfortunately is bad, and I brought this pack up enough to know that it actually will show 1 bar. So this pack actually would work if we replace that one cell. Unfortunately, it's going to be a tough job, and it's more than you want to do on one video, because it'll be time consuming. But so before I start disassembling this pack for the next video, I do want to take time to explain what we're talking about with the 20 volt to 60 volt, because without seeing the inner workings of this, it might still be a little bit confusing. We'll go ahead, we'll keep the battery facing this direction, since it doesn't really matter. We just got to stick with one way or the other while we're explaining this. All of these are actually minus and all these are plus as far as the 5S cells we see here. Across each one of these plus and minuses is our 5S cells, as we can see here. This is pushed in like it will be in 60 volt mode, and so in 60 volt mode these are not connected together like they would be in 20 volt mode. But as we continue on here, let's draw out the little connectors here. That is always our plus and minus respectively, coming from this terminal, and this one is actually coming from this back terminal, and it's always this way. Those connections I don't believe ever change. We don't really care so much about this one here, But these other two connectors here, we have a red and a black here, which at 60 volts, I believe we are taking the tool, and it's got a blade on the 60 volt tool. When it actually slides in, the blade actually goes in and actually jumps between those. But on a 20 volt tool, that does not happen. And we also know by ohming this, that this black is tied to this connection here, this power connection. This red one is actually tied to this minus here. That's just how it is. And to verify that, now if I do jump this like it's placed into a tool, of course we have to be very careful using jumpers and batteries. I actually know by tracing this out and ohming it that it's correct, but you would want to definitely double check that. But now I want you to look at my meter. This is always plus and always minus, like I said. We're at 49 volts, even though we only have 16 volts or so across. So this will be our 60 volts. It was fully charged in a fully functional pack. So keep that in mind. But the tool also jumps these two pins out, which is kind of odd. That way they're not doing it all with this. There's a couple other things going on here. We know that we have to be normally connecting all of these, if this makes sense to you. These are like normally closed contacts I'm showing where this is released. And of course we will be showing 0 ohms across all the pluses and across all the minus side, as we would expect. And of course no voltage differential across any of them because they are connected until we push this in. And once we push this in, and it's in a tool, and of course keep in mind usually this would also be jumped, all with just one motion here. Once it clicks in, all of a sudden these are not connected any longer. We're going to see our voltage potential in between them. So these are in series now, which makes sense. So all these connections here are now opened up. So these are open now. And another thing happens here. You can tell we have no connection across here. So it looks like, to me, we'll draw this like a normally open contact. It looks like we have a normally open contact that closes when you push this in. So at the same time these open, this one right here must close. And if it does that, and this is jumped, then you'll see we have our main plus coming to our battery terminal, going through 20 volts, then it's going back through in series with the other set, comes back through. See, this is broken now, so that's not touching. Then from here, it's going to go through this connection that is made now and hit this plus, which is series, back through the next 20 volt set, and there's our 60 volts right there, minus, plus. So this is what it's doing from here. It's going through to here, to here, to here, back to here. So pretty neat, really. Just thought I'd share this part in the video before we move on, because it's not obvious. If you don't have the 60 volt tool, it's not obvious that has to jump. But evidently that's what's going on with these contacts. At least in theory, that's what I believe is going on. Just a little look inside of what DeWalt calls its FlexVolt. Now they've been around for a little while now. The first one I've worked on, but 20 volt, 60 volt. Kind of a neat way of doing it. I really enjoyed looking at it. If you would like to see this battery pack being repaired, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to do a secondary video maybe of repairing this pack. It's just going to be pretty much replacing that cell, but it will be time consuming. By the way, they made this where it almost looks like this end cap would pop off, which would be, you know, God bless them if they did that. But unfortunately, you can see here, they ran this nickel strip over the plastic here, as well as here, and maybe even there. I don't think so, but maybe even there. So some of this stuff looks like it would kind of lift up and fold back, but not quite. So we would have to take most of our strips loose to actually replace that one cell. And it's actually the only one that looks like it's at the point of needing replacement. And the pack could possibly be fully functional. So yeah, if you'd like to see that video, please comment below. If you liked the video today looking inside of this FlexVolt, please let me know. And if you thought it earned it today, please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and God bless.